Okay, so we are live and just waiting a few moments as we're collecting. I just sent the tweet out but yeah, I'm gonna pretty much start in anyways, and people can see this later. Let me actually file my. Okay, there we go. All right, so welcome to the Chronoz Show. It's every few weeks we do something, and I wanted to focus on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom first impressions. And I know right now you don't have we don't have Letitia here, but we did do her part. I did a pre-recorded part with her yesterday, so we're gonna play that shortly. But I want to, my name's Chronoz, and we have Ryan Drayson.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
So I'm glad to have you, Ryan, as usual. So it's always a pleasure, and just to talk gaming. And today is again topic is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, our first impressions. Let's get down with the actual. Let's get to our trailer if I can. Dude, I got to be more organized. Now I can't find my trailer. It's oh, here it is. I hope this is the right one. Let me see. If it's not the right one, I'm going to play the right one.
Thunder, 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 Thundercats! Ho!
Awesome. I always love my trailer. I haven't seen it in a while. But hey, let's say what's up to the Geek Show.
Hey, Joe, good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Has appeared. So either way today, one thing I haven't done as I've been taking a lot of time for myself is I haven't I tweet something like this was like 2 weeks ago when I tweeted or something that we were doing this. I don't usually keep up with advertisement. I'm not like in a big rush to the whole world and things like that because I just attending to my life. I don't know if you noticed a bit difference when you see my videos. I'm thinning out a little bit. I just dropped I think a good 33 pounds and it's just not it's not gonna stop. My life is changing and I'm doing a lot of how you say health things here. That's why, and I'm gonna be doing more. Today I had a 2-hour martial arts class, and I went to the gym. Every day is a gym trip. It's like an addiction that I just grew. So and later on I'll focus more on trying to get other guests and things like that and so forth. So again, it's just a life changing experience that I've been going through. Of myself. But either way, let's talk some Zelda. The Geek shows. Hey, Geek, if you want to talk about Zelda, if you're playing the game, you're more than welcome. If you want to jump in, we don't got many viewers, but hey, whatever. I don't care. I mean, I'm just here to talk because I love doing what I love doing. So, but either way, well, if you want to leave a statement, ask you real quick. If you got the game, how are you doing? Are you enjoying the game? Are you enjoying Tears of the Kingdom? Let us know. I am going to. Letitia was supposed to be with us today, but she couldn't make it today. So we did a pre-recorded part with her. I did it with her yesterday, and I'm going to play that part. It was about 33 minutes, so I lowered it down to about 22 minutes. So we're going to play her piece there. I should actually as we're waiting for a second, let me send this to her so she can see it.
Yeah.
And
I'm just going to say, while you're setting that up, congrats to both you and to the Geek Show, reading through his comment that your efforts to improve your physical health and feel good about yourselves, that you're making progress at that. That's awesome. So a lot of
Geek,
respect
that's great.
for that.
I was just I don't even think I have the right glasses. I think I left my glasses at the movie theater, these are my old ones. But yeah, but yeah, it's good that grind 10 pounds last month. They told me I look at certain things and they said, oh, you'll probably lose about 5 pounds a month. I mean, in 2 months, dropping 33 pounds. It's just
so
I'm maybe a little excessive, but I'm trying to be careful not to, you know. I'm just scared. How do you say? I don't want to overdo things, so I'm being careful with how much I'm putting in. Like today, I just stayed longer at the gym, but I was not trying to push hard because then. But let me see. Let's see. I enjoy it, but I'm scared. I'm just going to consume my. That's if the game is going to consume your life. It's consuming me for a minute.
Yeah.
At moments, and I'll talk about my part of the we're gonna play Letitia's video, and we can talk through Letitia's video too, or if you need a pause because she's gonna talk about the timeline and what she feels. So we're gonna play her part. Let me see. If you got the target weight, let me see, and hitting the weights. That's everyone has their way of doing their workouts, but yet I encourage. This is a message. So I'll say this to all gamers who, like myself, who's overweight or been more overweight, and I see a lot of gamers are just a little bit beyond, like they're just very heavy, and it's destroying our lives if we're not taking care of. We love our games and whatever else. We love food, but you can love food too. But we just have to be careful. I want to put more years in my life that I can. I have my little guy. He's only 4 years old. I want to be with him as long as I can before my days are gone. So either way. It's do it for yourself. Do it for, if you have children, and mainly for yourself. But yeah, good. I hope I hope that Geek that you keep pushing in. I gotta talk to my brother too, and it's a very touchy subject, so that's why I'm blabbing a little bit. But let's get to the Letitia thing here. Get her part in because let's see. Okay, I got hers. I'm going to be hitting those weights soon too myself. Where is dang, oh, I'm in the wrong part here. Gotta go to share screen, share here. We can find hers. Let's see how it looks with us. Okay. I'm going to play this as her part. So okay, so Letitia, we're doing your part for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This is like our 1 week after kind of review and get the pointers out here. So can you hear that, Ryan? Doing our part.
Yeah, the volume's good.
Your aspects, you were going to show up with us, but you have a fun thing to do this, tomorrow. Yeah. So I hope you have a great time with that. What are you doing again? You're doing something fun.
So I'm going to a Greek festival/concert situation.
Awesome.
I'm not sure what to expect.
It should be good. It should be good.
Free tickets, so might as well.
Free tickets. Enjoy some Greek food and music and all that. So in the meantime, let's get to why we're doing this and get your whole insights, your thoughts. You got a timeline thing you want to talk about, and your excitement for the entire week that you've had with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Go for it.
Okay, so one, I have not had the chance to properly leave the house and enjoy life outside of the game. It consumed my entire existence. Actually, the fact that it did. It caught my attention more than Breath of the Wild. I can say that. Breath of the Wild was fun, but this was a lot
beyond.
Better. Yeah, this is very fun. Beyond, I think. I love the fact that the world is expanded because I've seen some complaints about how they're still using the same Breath of the Wild world. Yeah, they are, but so what? You have the underworld now, which is just as big as the map as the regular world. main level. And then you have the sky, which is fun. It's like little islands here and there. Could have been bigger islands, but I'll take whatever I can get.
What's Hyrule real quick is when you go through all the landscapes, it may be the same, but it's also changed a lot too. So, in a way, a lot of things are different too.
Yeah, with the caves and all that stuff that they added, that did a lot of changes, and the fact that some ruins crashed. The only thing that I have a little question about is how come we're seeing like from the Sky Islands, the Zonai part of the Sky Island, but we're not seeing the Sky Loftian part of the Sky Island, or at least like if they had like an Easter egg or something of like the Skyloft itself, old Skylofts crashed. Wouldn't that be amazing? Or you can go on it.
Yeah.
Like how many years later? There's like 10,000 years later, you get to see Skyloft again. That would have been fun, but no, they completely removed Skyloft and did just so nice. Which brings me to another thing. Where's the Skyloftians? Because they just mentioned that the Hylians were like, they were always there. And then the Zonais came from the sky. But I'm pretty sure like the Hylians, the first ones came from the sky too, right?
Well, if anything, hopefully we'll figure it out later on when we get more into the story of the game, because I think
I'm
we're both.
finishing the story and I'm not seeing any more information.
Wait, you finished with the story or?
Almost. I'm almost done with all the tiers from the past, and I'm not seeing anything else.
I haven't even done a single tier. I haven't done. I'm going to pause it for a quick second before I continue it. Where she's talking about the certain tiers, as well as Ryan, we were speaking about it, is that there's all these towers everywhere within the lands down below, and by jumping on, kind of what LAETITIA told me, and I started doing it last night. When I jumped in, you go really high, and you're like kind of flying, and you're going down, and as you're floating down, you see this like hieroglyphic type images on the grass area. You gotta go to them.
Okay.
And there's so many everywhere, and when you go, I'm going to as many as I can because they're so like right now. I just stopped doing a lot of everything. I'm not going to any of the areas. I'm just picking up on the story because that way you learn more about the story, and you'll see that she'll mention something coming up. And I'm kind of like confused too, like a lot of the story, how is this intertwining with the timeline? So let's continue her part.
All right.
So you just told me about what they're for, and I'm gonna be doing that right after this. I need to check out some of this timeline stuff.
Yeah, it will take you like a full day, but they're just for fun. Like you don't have to do them; they won't impact you in the game. It's just for your knowledge. And to me, I'm obsessed with getting all of them. I think I have 3 more left, and that's it.
Whoa! Do you know where they're at? Does it tell you where can you find them? We just gotta get lucky and find them in each area.
No, it doesn't tell you, but you don't have to get lucky. Just go to the main towers and
just like
fly off of them, and you'll see them. And then you just dash towards them. And if you have like 2 wheels of stamina, you're good. Then you can just manage to get there. And if you have the Rito, he can just push you every like.
That I learned from her.
But yeah, it's actually really fun now that once you max out the wheel, you can get them easily. So I'm just gonna focus on getting the last 3 tonight. And just another thing we discussed about that I was supposed to get. What was it?
You were something about the timeline that you're confused about with Ocarina of Time and.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna get a Hestus. I need to find him. But or Hetsu? I don't know. Hestus or Hetsu? I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing Estus Flask.
Hetsu.
Estus Flask from another game, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, cool.
That's okay.
The other thing was like the Easter egg situation that I noticed. Well, I think it might not be an Easter egg. I'm thinking that they're rewriting the story, but some people are thinking that it's an Easter egg, but it's the scene with one of the tiers where Ganondorf is kneeling at the king, and he's pledging his allegiance to the king, and also mentioning that he apologizes on behalf of the Gerudos and how they're going to try and do better. Then you have, in Ocarina of Time, Ganondorf also doing the same thing, pledging himself to the king, and then also apologizing on behalf of the Gerudos, trying to extend an olive branch. and it's the same exact scene. So I'm thinking, is this scene like it's just an Easter egg where they're trying to align it to like when Zelda was young, looking out and through the window in Ocarina of Time to see Ganondorf do that? Or it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it's either coincidence or they're rewriting Ocarina of Time timeline.
Man, that sounds like, who do we talk to? Who do we get more of that insight? I know someone who would probably have, I got to talk to him, maybe see what he's up to. He calls himself, Triforce. I don't know if you ever met Triforce, but I would have him on the podcast. He's known to know the timeline better than most people, so I'll have to go back and and talk to him.
Sometimes it's more better than Nintendo.
I'm sure he's probably playing the game right now. But yeah, that does sound kind of like where I understand where you're getting at. And I saw that video on was it TikTok, and I was like, what the heck? So now I want to understand it too. I want to.
Yeah, because like the cutscenes are supposed to happen after Skyward Sword, before Minish Cap. So it's right there, and then there's Minish Cap, and then there's Ocarina of Time in the timeline technically. But that cutscene they just took so many elements from Ocarina of Time that I'm wondering, is this like
when she talks about Zelda and all Minish Cap and all this stuff, like this girl is like a Zelda fanatic, which is awesome. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thing that came from the desert to apologize. I don't think there's 100 years between the two games.
She's an elf.
I'm not too sure, but I don't think so. But if that's the case, then I guess it's just Ganondorf repeating himself, or the past repeating itself, and he's always going to be begging for forgiveness, and he's always going to get wrecked by Link. Or another thing is probably they're just cutting both timelines and putting them together, where it's the same thing that happened. Because I remember when Link and Zelda discovered him, and he woke up like he was a shriveled raisin at the time. When he woke up and he said like Roru put me to sleep, well, not put me to sleep, but sealed me, and Link and Zelda, I recognize you too, whatever. And it's like, okay, Roru, are we talking about the same Roru from Ocarina of Time, the same guy who turns into the owl, the same guy who lives in the sacred realm, the same guy who has six other sages with him in the sacred realm? That same Roru? Because if that's the case from Ocarina of Time, that's the Roru that actually did seal Ganondorf.
You want to see something, Ryan?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting that she mentioned that, because I haven't done further than kind of the first settlement the game wants you to go to in terms of story. Mm-hmm. So I haven't done the geoglyphs, I haven't done dungeons, but I thought from what I played of the story that it explained what Ganondorf meant, also visually speaking. So I'm interested to see if anything more, once I play more of the story, if I misunderstood what it was implying, or if there's actually like what more there is to that, or kind of what she's getting at there, or yeah, it'll be interesting to see, kind of to experience more of that and kind of decide what do I think there is to that. But yeah, no, it's interesting that she said that.
Okay.
But now they're saying that there's a different guy whose name is Roru, who's the king, but he's also the seventh sage, and there's 6 other sages with him. And okay. I'm just like, it's like Ocarina of Time storyline that's taken and put in a different timeline. And you can't
I'm trying to figure out
repeat itself, because history does not repeat itself. There's never going to be other sages.
Remember how he says in the beginning that he knows their names, and right when you confront Ganon and he kind of wakes up, out of his little crypt,
which means he was not killed. He was put to sleep there. So that's not a reincarnation of Ganon. This is a Ganon that was put to sleep, and then there was other reincarnation afterwards.
Put to sleep from Ocarina of Time? Is that Ganon?
That's what I'm thinking. Because when they're saying it's not from Ocarina of Time, it's from two eras before, during the Great War or whatever. And if that's the case, then that Ganon was put to sleep. because he was sealed away and not killed, right? Then you have the other Ganons. No, actually, after that you got Vati, the stupid demon magician guy who's so annoying. Then after Vati, you have Ganondorf, reborn, brand new, fresh guy, comes out of nowhere, and he also gets sealed, not killed, just sealed. Then you have the other Ganondorfs that get killed. Like the one from Twilight Princess gets murked. He does not get sealed.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, he does not get sealed. He gets killed. Then you have who comes after him? Is it no? There's another one after him, before Breath of the Wild. That one gets killed, and then Breath of the Wild, it's a different Ganon. It's Demise, or whatever, Calamity, same shit. That's the one who comes, and then he gets destroyed, and now you have the guy who sealed this entire time. But which Ganon now? Because Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time was sealed, and you have that other Ganondorf that apparently was sealed as well. So which one is unsealed? And
do you think that we're gonna have a better explanation when we confront him? Maybe we'll get something more when we're finally with him, or at the end, towards the end of Tears of the Kingdom. Do you think somehow we might get something out of it? Hopefully. No.
I think Nintendo created its own thing. I think Nintendo decided we don't like how easy that story was. We like how complicated Breath of the Wild story is, and we want to bring in a whole new race called the Zonai. We're going to completely dismiss the fact that the Hylians came from the sky as well. So that's already dismissed. They also dismissed the fact that this Ganondorf, they're using the same cutscene. So you're trying to tell me you're redoing Ganondorf. You're just redoing the whole guy. It's the same guy that was sealed the whole time, right? Roru only sealed one guy, and there's only one Roru. Now you have another Roru. They're just confusing timelines, and they're gonna add another timeline. That's what's gonna happen.
We have to figure this out.
They're gonna add another timeline. They're gonna say hero, when the hero was defeated, this timeline happens, which is the most redundant one with spirit tracks and all that shit. Then they're gonna say the timeline when the hero's triumphant, which is like up to Twilight Princess, and then I don't even know where to put Breath of the Wild now. Now I don't even want to put in that timeline because this is an alternative timeline, which means Ganondorf Ocarina of Time never existed.
Maybe they'll have an update.
Get your friend who knows everything to like really give his input, because at this
we're gonna talk to Triforce. I'm gonna probably have this video private, which I will, and then I'm going to send it to him tonight so he can kind of listen to it, because we had a conversation about the whole timeline when we had Breath of the Wild. Now, Triforce has been known to have he was that guy that had the most. Whenever a new Nintendo system came out, he was always first in line at the New York store. He had this like popularity, and he's grown, and he was doing a lot of big things, and he's got an alternate universe is what MSNU 07 is. That's I'm kind of agreeing with her on that one, just as she's like what do you think, Ryan?
I think honestly Nintendo put out the official timeline in Hyrule Historia, saw how fans reacted, and the fans got mad about it because it didn't match what they wanted, because you can't please everyone, so someone was bound to be unhappy with it. And then when they're doing Breath of the Wild, Nintendo's like, well, screw it then. We're just going to put this wherever we want, or we're going to restart it, or we're going to do whatever we want. We're not going to tell you anything definitively because we don't care. We just want to make fun games that people like. I don't think they totally don't care, but like, because Metroid has a clear, consistent timeline, but I think like that's not their main concern. And then the reaction, they were like, oh well, we shouldn't try to please the fans by giving them this because it didn't work. So they just decided from then on they would just not. That's what I think anyway. I don't know where it fits at all, and I don't really have any ideas about that. I just kind of like.
Here's another
enjoy them up there.
Another here we have Roru also seems to have some owl references, mask, goggles, reminds me of, and I like it's really making I'm trying to make sense of all this, but it's just I gotta dig in more deep into into the game, and I'll go into more of my part
Okay.
later. But hey, thank you for joining the I don't know if
thank you.
is am I trying to pronounce, is it just S M as in
MSNU
you? Unless you wanted to, hold on. Let me go back to her. Let's just finish this real quick. And her part should be some Guinness Book of World Records still that he holds, and things like that I've known him, but he's always
talking about
extremely
Triforce.
fascinated. That's what he calls himself.
Yeah, Trevor
Triforce.
Johnson, he's cool.
And
He has his Guinness Book of World
we had
Records.
a conversation. I have that video too that we had him on the podcast talking about it, but I might have to bring him back again to go over. Well, maybe after he completes the game and do this again, maybe he'll
coming from Twitter.
help figure this out. Sometimes they're going to make an updated book too, eventually, about every timeline, because they got it all up to Breath of the Wild now. Now they're going to have to make the updated book, but I don't think we want to wait. Right. I do want to find out, because this is definitely tripping out my mind about how you're saying it, and we got to have a better understanding. Maybe he can help us.
Yeah, because I wouldn't question anything until they had to use the imagery. That's number one. 2, they had to use the fact that Ganon was sealed by the same people. It was 6 sages that sealed him with Roru that sealed him and failed. And I'm like, there's only one Ganon that was sealed and not killed. I remember at the end of Ocarina of Time, he falls down that like tunnel. That weird tunnel, it's like whitish, and he just falls and says, "I will get you, Link," or whatever, screaming that out. He gets sealed. He never dies. So, and that's Roru who did that, and with the help of Zelda, through Zelda, right? And then Zelda, who's the descendant of the Zonai and whatever, which I don't even know how you can mix their blood together, to be honest. Those are 2 completely different species of creatures. But somehow they mix, and somehow they dismiss the fact humans came from the sky, and they dismiss everything that we know about the timeline, and they replayed the same scene, the continuation of the Ocarina of Time scene of Ganondorf saying, "I will get you guys." And when he wakes up, what's the first thing he says? Link and Zelda, fuck you guys.
Oh,
I
gotta go back. He said that.
He wakes up and he's like, "Yeah, you guys suck." And Roru sealed me, and look at him, he sucks. I'm awake. And I'm thinking, ooh, Ocarina of Time Ganondorf. Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. At that moment, when they first when he gets revived or breaks out of that stage with that hand holding him first, I'm like, that's the thing that always hit my mind with Ocarina of Time timeline. That's what always did. So I'm there too. Just I'm confused.
Roru, who was this guy? I was like, this is not the same old man who appears in every game. Like, I think if you played Wind Waker, he appears in one of the paintings in Hyrule Castle. Roru, the same guy as the one in Ocarina of Time. Twilight Princess, he appears in Zelda's room as a painting. Like, he's never been dismissed as a character, and his design has always been key. Now you have this different looking guy with the same name who also happens to be a sage leader, or the 7th sage, and he also happens to have 6 other sages working with him, and also Zelda, who's somehow related to him.
It's the same person. I'm just trying.
That's what I'm thinking. They redesign him and give him a king title, and I feel like they merged timelines. They said
they merged.
Yeah, they took I feel like they took Minish Cap, threw it away. They took Ocarina of Time, and they merged it with this new timeline that they're trying to create. Just merge those together, so it's Skyward Sword and then that. But then they don't want to acknowledge the Skyloft people. So instead of having the Skyloft people be the ones who came from the sky, now they're rewriting it to say Zonai came from the sky. And then the Hylians were just random people living on Earth or their planet, whatever.
I'm going to pause for a second just to go for this one. As she's saying, Roru, I have a hard time saying it, is a new breed. The Goat Man, Marion, and Hylian Queen, Sonia. I was talking to LAETITIA last night after we did this pre-recorded video. I started to see that, and getting more of the story. So yeah, just as she's saying, Let's see. Also, Roro has a sister. Seem to have a third eye. So it's pretty entertaining. The more I dig in, and I got more of those hieroglyphics to look into. Let's see. We're heading towards the end.
And
of her
then
part.
they married with the Zonais and whatever, and then the kingdom was created. That's what they're trying to feed me, and I refuse to eat that. And I'm like, no, where's my Ocarina of Time? The best part of the Zelda series is
Don't
Ocarina
destroy
of Time.
that series, man. Don't. We were raised off of Ocarina of Time. I don't know how many times I played that game in my lifetime. So many times. And
Ocarina's
Me too,
amazing.
just to see Quinrova.
one of
Time
the
is-
best experiences of my life came from Ocarina of Time as a young kid. Growing up. And I wish they would remake. I wish they would have remastered that game. That's
Yes.
like for something updated now. Something for the Switch. Yeah, but how
No,
Yes.
kind of
they
confuses me a little bit.
disrespected us with
Huh?
DS. They disrespected us with DS out of all things.
Yeah, it's a good thing that we got to catch up on and find out. Was there other than the timeline? Your experience for the whole week? How do you feel? That is, your thoughts. I'm sure you're probably psyched out. With the gameplay and building stuff and the underground area. Like, what's your best part of playing this game right now?
The best part is actually doing the side quests. I find them very fun, even though they're not rewarding at all whatsoever. Like I get shitty items every time I finish a really complicated quest, but it's satisfying to empty that list. So I've been addicted to that. I don't want to defeat the last temple yet because I'm just having fun exploring the entire map. I want to finish my health bar quickly, so I'm still on that journey. But it's addicting so far. Just focusing on one little goal, like getting more health, or one goal like doing side quests. It just gets you like hooked on the game even more because you get to appreciate all the little things instead of just jumping straight to main story. Beat the boss. I don't want to do that.
I wonder if there's more after we get after like I've done the Zoras and what do you call this guy? The name's out of my head. Hold on.
We did Zora and Rito so far.
Yes. When I finish the other two, is there more beyond that? I mean, is the game going to be finished too quickly? And that's why I'm just.
Like 5 rings, and when you do them, you only get those 2 rings here, and then those 2 rings here, but you don't get the middle finger. So I don't know what there's another.
I think that's the new rings.
Yeah, I think there's a 5th one. Maybe something to do with Zelda,
ring.
something just to get the middle finger. And then once you get that, you can go to Ganondorf. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna release DLCs like they did with Breath of the Wild. That's 100%. Nintendo's been living off DLCs lately for even like the stupidest game.
That's one thing I kept thinking about. Is like there has to be some really badass type of bike or something else. We're gonna get a little piece of more of a story that we're gonna wait for something. Nintendo's we're gonna eat at that. They're making their money, and that's the whole party. But yeah, I do think 100%. We'll probably get two DLCs for sure. That's what I'm thinking.
2 DLCs and probably a continuation game, kind of like how Breath of the Wild had Age of Calamity that came right after. So if you wanted to know more of the story, you can play that button masher.
Another
game.
Hyrule Warriors kind of thing. Yeah, like Age of Calamity. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just unfortunately it's a button masher, but you get really pertinent cutscenes where it like teaches you like what happened.
Yeah, I remember playing Age of Calamity. It was amazing. I just love the story in that, and I was just trying to rush through it just to get the story of Age of Calamity and with that one, just because there'll probably be another one. That'd be a good idea. Thought about
if
that
they
too.
do that, I'll buy it for sure. If they add legitimate DLCs where there's like new quests, maybe a new area. Oh, we're missing some cities anyway, so they might as well add a brand new area with the DLC. I'm so down. Like
He's got about 2 minutes
I'm
left.
wondering-
Skyloft. If they can add Skyloft, I'm satisfied that I'm wrong with the theory.
I wonder because I mean, the map is so big, but they can add something, more something within the sky, more or like you're saying.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, just add like the remnants of Skyloft. I am so down to see that. Even actually, when you play, if you remember in Skyward Sword, do you remember when you go down back to Earth?
Ryan, right when
the
we get
planet,
done with
whatever,
this, we're gonna have
and
your
you
part.
go to the
so you can-
desert? Do you remember that
Okay.
weird
Talk your,
zonite technology? They had it in that game. When
Hmm.
you go to one of the temples that you have to reverse time.
So talking about the time shift stones, I remember that.
I know I played the
It
game
was like
once.
robots like that
Yeah,
in
the robots
the
activated with
desert
time
area.
shift
So the
stones.
desert temple. It's like old technology,
Yeah.
glows green and all that stuff. It's just like the Zone Eyes. Oh, now I'm thinking even harder.
Yeah.
Your brain's gonna explode.
That means the Zone Eyes were on Earth before the, so not Earth, well, the planet. The Zone Eyes were already down on the planet surface before the Skyloftians went down. Is that what they're? Oh my god!
You figured it out. You're almost there. All right, that's it for that part. We're doing your part for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This is like our 1 week after kind
I
of
think we
review
started.
of it. Yeah. Get that out of the way and take away
All right.
top screen. Ryan, your turn. Spill the beans. Tell us everything, Ryan. Tell us
Okay,
how
so
you feel your love towards it.
yeah, as I said earlier, I have played the opening little bit, the tutorial area, the first Sky Island, and then down to Hyrule. I've only done a little bit of the story after that, and then I've largely been exploring. I am interested in the story. It's got me hooked in to start. But I am most interested in doing the exploration and seeing what the world of the game has to offer. Anyone that has, so I'm going to do a little intro to what I think about the game, a little kind of setup here, because we talked about like kind of reviewing it sort of. I'm not going to give like a score, but so anyone that has watched this channel, whether they watched when I was interviewed on it before I was on the show, or has seen episodes here and there, I talk often about how Breath of the Wild, when I first played it back in 2017, became my favorite game. It was just fun to mess around and explore in that game. I enjoyed the story for what it was. I enjoyed the gameplay for what it was, like the combat in that. It wasn't perfect, but as a lot of the reviewers at the time were saying, it was a masterpiece in the sense of game design, like letting you go and just do whatever you want and mess around and have fun, and gave a fresh experience that I'd never had before. So a direct sequel to something like that, for me, has to be something very special, and it has a lot to live up to, and is either going to be like the greatest thing ever in my mind, or is going to be a massive disappointment. Now, in this modern era of gaming, we have a lot of games that get demos. And that's a good thing because you get to play a bit of the game beforehand and see what you're going to get. And now this is where we're going to, sorry for all the setup, but this is where we're going to get into what I think of Tears of the Kingdom. Fortunately, and try and stay with me for where I'm going with this. Fortunately, Nintendo put out a demo for Tears of the Kingdom. Nintendo put out a demo 5 years ago for Tears of the Kingdom, and it was called Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom, absolutely 100% is living out the promise and potential that Breath of the Wild had. Tears of the King, other than not doing it first, which may matter to some people, does not matter to me. Tears of the Kingdom 100% does everything that Breath of the Wild did, but better. And when that became apparent to me was when I first got down off the first Sky Island and started to get to explore the world. The story setup was great. The Great Sky Island, I thought was good, but I thought was like really kind of redoing the Great Plateau. So I was like, okay, this is great. This is more what I love. But once I got down and saw like how different things were, and how much of an interesting experience this was going to be in its own right, and how much they had changed and added but still respected what they gave us previously. I have just loved going around and messing around in this world again. People complained about like, oh, it feels like DLC or looks like DLC. No, 100% wrong. They have added a whole new area under the ground, which is basically like Zelda Stranger Things. Like you go down, it's dark and there's all these particles and everything is just trying to kill you. And that alone is just a fun experience, because you got to figure like how do you get around and how do you see. And they have some cool mechanics like your heart's down there. If you lose a heart until you get to a certain, I'm not going to spoil it, I'm going to kind of like talk around it. After you get this, you have to get to a certain thing, otherwise your hearts are gone. You can refill the hearts you have left, but those hearts you lost are cracked and you can't heal them. So on being under the ground, you're screwed, which is super fun. It's super fun because you have to figure out like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get around? How am I going to survive down here? On the land, you have new things. People, sorry?
No, it was trippy for me at first I'll talk my part when I first landed down there, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's trippy. It messes with you. When you're on the mainland of Hyrule, there's so many things that are the same or like reference things from the first game. Yes, yeah, it's like the look of it is really, there's way too much to do and explore.
I love Stranger Things. Oh, man.
Yeah, Stranger Things is cool. There's too much to explore and do. Yes, honestly, when people say like, oh, I'm getting absorbed in this game, I play a little bit every night. I'm getting absorbed in it myself, and yes, it almost seems kind of overwhelming, like how much is there to do in this game, but like in a good way where I want to keep doing it. On the land.
Oh, real quick, Ryan, 1 second. I'm just new. I wanted to first make sure. I hope you're feeling better, by the way. Go ahead, Ryan. She has like, I think she had a migraine. She was putting it on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I hope you're doing better. On the land, people remember from the first game the taluses, the stone taluses. Those are back. But think about how surprising it was to encounter that. There's something to me that's even more surprising that you run into a lot more often, and you can't really tell. As like those taluses, you can kind of get an idea in Breath of the Wild when you come upon them, what that is, or like you have an idea of you see that it's something. It's not necessarily clear right away, but there's things in Breath of the Wild that are hidden like that will attack you, but are a lot less clear what they are. Similarly, the Guardians. I honestly feel there's a thing in Breath of the Wild that I've encountered that makes me like so much more anxious and horrified than anything the Guardians ever. Like the Guardians were a real threat, but
yeah,
after a while you get used to them and you figure out like what their movement patterns are. There's a thing that you can't see coming and has an effect that's similar to something else that you're used to from Breath of the Wild. And then once you hear it, you're like, oh crap.
Are you talking about that? Like, oh shit! I think
I'm not gonna say what that spoiler is. But
I know what you're talking about. Oh my god!
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, those things scare me. I fucking start running.
Yeah, exactly. I first saw one of those. When I first came down from the sky. I saw a mild spoiler. There's shrines back in the game. I saw a shrine. I wanted to go to the shrine. It was up this kind of like stalk of tree or something. So I was like, okay, I have to climb that. I started going over it, and all of a sudden, the sky starts changing. And I'm like, oh, okay. I thought it was. I thought I knew what the time cycle was, but okay.
It was getting kind of red, right? You know, like
yeah. So okay, so people know the blood moon. So I'm like, oh. I thought it was just night, but okay, I guess it's a blood moon. And then all of a sudden I hear this other different thing. Like it doesn't go to a cutscene. I hear this other different thing. I'm like, and I turned to the camera and I'm like, oh crap. And I got up that beanstalk, or the tree stalk or whatever. It's like so quick. Fortunately, that was enough, but like, God help you if those things catch you. And I'm not gonna
Yeah.
spoil it there. Don't look it up on YouTube. Don't look it up on Twitter. Just experience this horrible monstrosity creature on your
I'm
own.
planning
in
to
the
go
game.
back. I'm planning
Sorry?
to go find one. But I'm planning to go find one when I'm ready.
Yeah, and go
'Cause
fight it.
makes me mad. They scare me. They scare me. But
Yeah. And so like the building is fun. I've kind of gone around Hyrule Castle a little bit. I need more stamina to actually like get up to some of it because not the spoilers, but you can see in all the trailers it's floating a little bit. Or like a chunk of it is floating, not the whole thing. I'm just excited every time I get to play more of the game. I look forward to it. I think about it when I'm not playing it. I think about where I want to go and what I want to do. I think about when's the next time that I'm going to get to play it. I have an idea of what sequence I want to do things in when I'm playing it. As other people have said, it's consuming my time. And I love that about it. And I feel like it addresses the complaints of like there's more monster variety. There's a lot more monster variety. I'm surprised with how much there is between the depths, the underground, and the land. There's more story. It gets into that right away, or there's at least more story straight off. But it seems like it's more story focused than the last one was. It sets up a lot of like story for the characters that you knew before from the last game. And like seeing where are they now and what are they doing now, which is awesome. It sets up stories for some of the towns. I just love everything about it. And I would recommend it to classic Zelda fans, but I would also recommend it to people that love Breath of the Wild. And if you think like Breath of the Wild is too different from the old Zeldas, I would say this is probably something that would kind of meet both types of player expectations. So that's basically all. I'm looking forward to playing the dungeons. I hear they're more like classic style dungeons, but with the Breath of the Wild exploration. I don't have anything to say on that because I haven't done them yet. Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to cover about the game. I love it. I recommend it. So much fun.
Awesome. I did. Anything else that you want to state before I do my part, or you can
No,
always
I'm
jump
good.
in.
I'm good for you to go ahead. Yeah, thank you.
Anytime you want to. I first want to say a rest in peace to my wood piece here. My this here that I just know that when I got this thing here from GameStop, I was like triggered. I was just triggered like ooh, I want to do this. And I felt the type of wood that it was because like I mentioned or if I mentioned before, I've been taking martial arts, for the past couple of years. I've done it when I was younger, and then I'm taking it now as I'm older. I just went back and we crack and we break wood sometimes, and it's just like this gotta be it. So then I did the was that the TikTok video, and I even posted on my timeline on Twitter if you haven't seen it. So I talk about how amazing it is, and I just like I actually went outside. I grabbed a few bricks from the garden and I put them in the living room, no dining room, and then I put this wood there. One hit, you gotta do one hit. So I did it one that just cracked it. I didn't. Please don't be mad, but I didn't at first. This is before I even played the game. I did the video for this. So what is this for? Like, what is this symbol? Why do I want the piece of wood? But either way, got the little trigger too because I love breaking wood. But anyways, back to did you get this, Ryan? Did you get the amiibo?
No, I did not get the amiibo.
It's not how do you say? I'm still haven't gotten nothing huge from it. Every day like I'm gonna do it today shortly. I got the champions from Breath of the Wild and a bunch of other ones, and it sometimes get cool things, but I wish I can get like really awesome things, but so far nothing that's amazing. But let's go into how I feel. Overall, I've been enjoying the heck out of this Zelda. When I got home before midnight on that Thursday, right away I was playing the game. and I that weekend, you know, I was enjoying the whole weekend, putting a lot of hours into it. It's 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 very it's it feels I love Breath of the Wild, but I'm loving this more. I do miss the ancient one thing, that bike, that little motorbike we were riding. I miss some of these things, and but I love the fact that I was able to transfer all my horses from Breath of the
Oh
Wild
yeah.
into Tears of the Kingdom. I was like, yes, I still got my original Epona, and I mean,
Mm,
I have two Eponas right now. I just you gotta have. I think it's this one that you gotta have. If you don't,
okay.
this
That's
particular
nice one.
link, the one that you need to get her. But either way, it just really excited me just to have that. What the horses and stuff. But I love the sky areas. I enjoy so much of Hyrule because somebody was Tisha was saying people are saying, "Oh, this is exactly the same shit." All this they're saying, they're just blabbing. They're not happy or whatever, dude. It's like it's like they remodeled a lot of everything, all the land, it's all pretty much like the Temple of Time on Hyrule is just all messed up. Things are more destroyed. You get a feeling of what happened afterwards, the
Mhm.
destruction, and so things are still worked on a lot. What's that town that your house is at? I forgot the name of that town where you build your house and it's there, and I love how they redesigned. They put a bunch of mushrooms everywhere, but I love the
Oh
fact that
yeah.
it seems like, man, I mean, I don't know if Link and Zelda are gonna have babies or something, but were they living together? Because she's all over his house and leaving her diaries everywhere, and in the in the well, there's like an extra like little basement level for them, and she's leaving her stuff everywhere. I always wish more between two. Link is saving her every 100 years or so. Come on, give him some love. Love your man. But I'm just messing. But overall,
Yes,
it's
I
just
kind of
I
miss you got it.
I love how it's just like they're really connected through time, and they're spending time. Or she's just like I don't know. I've always loved Zelda and Link, and all of us do. All, big fans of Yes, you are so right.
Yeah,
Thank you
Hatena.
for helping that. How can I pronounce it? Hold on, my eyes.
Hateno. I
Jeez.
think it's Hateno.
Hatena Village,
Yeah.
Hateno Village. I'm bad at pronouncing stuff, but yeah, it's just I just love the all around. It's like all this mystery behind everything. I still love just the whole feel. It's such a beautiful game. The
Mm.
underground that it was early in the game after I got a couple of shrines that I fell into. I went into a well and it took me all the way down. I kept going on. What the hell? Just it's never ending. So I floated down in complete darkness, and I spent several hours freaking out, like trying to get through it. I did not know how to get back up. It was so late. I'm like, dude, how did I? After a few hours, I finally just like teleported back up. I was like, jeez, that's all I had to do. But I went around and I got that I got ended up finding a new ability on my way through there. But anyways, I've only discovered maybe 30% of that underground. So and I left it. I'll go back to it after I pretty much did a lot more conquering Hyrule, the upper, area. The shrines, I was not a big fan in Breath of the Wild, but I love the shrines so much in Tears of the Kingdom. So it's so weird, but I just love the design, the way it looks, the way it feels, and it's just, I mean, the all around experience has been amazing. I did complete just the two areas. I don't want to do it the other two because I just want to, like, I'm exploring right now, and
Yeah.
I kind of stopped. I did a shrine today, but I'm actually looking for those what do you call it, geographics, or I'm looking for all those tiers and just getting all the memories and going into. I still got I think I got a few left, but I need to get. I'm trying to cover the story, and I'm just getting that part and then explore some more for a few days. If I think I'm gonna do the Gorons next because I think the Gerudos, or I think I'm gonna do them last. I heard that that's way harder. That's one of the
Okay.
hardest bosses or something like that. So I'll get the Gorons, and I'll have my three buddies protecting me, and I'm gonna go into the last area. But I still think there's a whole nother area for that. Is there a fifth ring? Anyway, Miss New, how far are you in the game? Are you really deep into the game? Are you exploring it little by little? Ooh,
You talk about the
The
music.
music-
Yeah, music is nice atmosphere. I liked it like Breath of the Wild.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, she said about, can we talk about the music? And I said like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
nice,
go ahead.
nice
Yeah,
kind of atmospheric. Similar to Breath of the Wild, but I feel like there's more tracks in this one, more music. And I mean, Zelda series always has great music. People that say the Breath of the Wild
You know
didn't,
that.
it was just more atmospheric. It's not that it didn't. I don't know if you have more that you want to say, or Miss New, you can.
Yeah.
comment.
I think with the music, I've noticed in certain areas when I started falling in love a lot with the music portion of it. I'm thank you for now we're talking about music. I would have missed that, but when I got into the Zora's domain, and it made me feel like I felt like I was playing Ocarina of Time and I was there in Zora's domain, back in that. It gives you that nostalgia, and you just like it just makes you fall in love again. And they're doing that on purpose, of course. It's
Oh, yeah.
great to feel that, and yeah, when you ride in the lands and the Hyrule, the fields, and I think I read an article that talked about how a lot of the music was a lot more nostalgia than before. And yeah, so it's just amazing. And just even when you're just doing nothing, you're just walking around or you're riding on your horse, and you get that music. Like for me, it's just like tonight I'm gonna turn off the lights, play the game, and just enjoy it. Just like I said, I don't even want to hit any big battles right now. I see the freaking three-headed Godzilla, whatever the heck.
The Gleeok.
I mean what's it again?
Dragon thing, the Gleeok.
Yeah, the three-headed dragon. I see it from a distance. I look closer. Like, oh hell no, I'm gonna go around this fool. I don't want to mess with them. I'm not trying to do that right now. I hit some big bosses, but I'm just waiting for me to be stronger before I start really attacking that. But yeah, but finishing off with the music, it's just the experience is just amazing with everything. That if you're a big hardcore Zelda fan, like it seems like all of us here right now are, and see, I love the theme and the Stranger Things section. It's scary and love that. I'll put that up here. The ground part, finding the boss.
That I haven't heard.
Yeah, I agree. It's
the Stranger. The underground, everything is just nice and eerie, and like, oh, I don't want to be here, but I need to be here. So, yeah. I found playing as I got 4 bosses now, exploring side quests. Not ready for Ganondorf. He's too. Yeah, I could see that.
Wow, this girl's like she's on that.
That's some good progress. Good for you. I have to ask, Miss New, is that like the new from? I think it's from the End of Time in Chrono Trigger. Is that where the name comes from?
Which one?
In Chrono Trigger, the things at the end of at the end of time, where you get the epoch from, in Chrono Trigger, I think are called New. Is that where your username came from? If not, that's fine too. But like,
we're interviewing you right now. You're being interviewed.
Chrono Trigger is amazing, so I'm just curious.
If you ever want to interview, I would love to. I'm always. That's one thing I tried doing when I started doing the We did a lot of the voice actors, and we did the voice of Lionel from Thundercats. A few weeks ago, we had the girl from the Neverending Story. I stopped doing those interviews for now because I went into my personal life, but I want to go back and start interviewing YouTubers again, or people who are just into gaming and so forth. So if you're interested, let me know. But yeah, let's see this one. Read this one.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a Chrono Trigger reference. That's cool.
I hope she loves Chrono Trigger.
Yes, Chrono Trigger is awesome.
Don't say you never played it. Say you have. But yeah, well, what was I at? New?
I don't know that movie. Yeah, you can talk about it, Zelda for a whole. That's cool.
Oh yeah, you definitely. I looked at your profile, and you're definitely a Zelda lover. And I'll say, growing up playing the originals, and my favorite was one of my favorite of all time. It's really hard because I love all those other games, but it's the Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past, and Twilight Princess are like my big time favorites. And Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are one whole game for me. That's how I see it.
Hmm.
But I loved the TV show back in the day. With or the cartoon. That was a short one. Pretty much anything of Zelda. I was mentioning earlier that I do want to do. Hopefully, if Triforce Johnson, if can do another timeline thing with us, because when Triforce Johnson came on, I had him on before a few times, and we talked about the entire Zelda timeline. So another themed Zelda one later on. I'm gonna wait for him to finish the game. Hopefully, we stay in contact and we can talk about have another themed Zelda thing. Either way, let me see what else. Let's see. Music is great. All around gameplay is amazing. I felt there was a few. Was there a few glitches for me? Usually all games have something. They had like an update, so it's fine. Let's see. I just love the entire environment, the way I feel playing the game. It's just like in some of these times in life when we feel, I'm not afraid. I've said things before. I have my depression, and sometimes I depress on things in my personal life, and things are going on. But this game is like helping me just through the days. When I'm by myself, just playing my game. This game's gonna take a long time if I allow it. I don't want to rush through it. I'm
Mhm.
sure, like I said, I'm just trying to enjoy it. Even after I beat up, the game and I defeat Ganon, I'm still gonna be playing after that, and still exploring and catching the things that I didn't get. So it's something I'm gonna be on because I don't know what else I'm gonna play besides my PS5 and if I'm playing whatchamacallit, the Last of Us remake, but that's the only two major games I will be playing much. But back to Zelda, it's just let's see, let's see. Favorite parts of Tears of the Kingdom so far. Like, if you had to choose one thing, your favorite. Ryan, you want to go first?
Uh, I mean, that's really hard to say because I just love all of it. But um, these, because they're so freaky and just disturbing, and like I'm like, I want the Guardians back, please. Can we just patch those out and put the? But like, yeah, they're so freaky and like you feel like you react to them every time. That's fun. That's interesting. The depths, specifically, I encountered a Lionel in the depths. I
Ooh,
ran. I was not. That was not happening. It's like it looked like it was armored or like
he
something was
ran.
armored. It looked so. Yeah, it was freakier than a normal Lionel. There's something wrong with it. So I'm like, nope. I only have the 4 hearts and the regular stamina wheel, so we're not messing around with things yet. And the towers. I love that they somehow managed to make mapping the game out, at least on the surface, more fun. And then in the depths, they made it more of like it's more of an experience. There's more gameplay and thought to it than just you figure out how to get to a tower in the first Breath of the Wild. But yeah, and on the surface, it's really, really fun to just watch that play out when you get to one. Chronoz, what about you?
Of course, like I can say, I love pretty much everything, but I'll pick something now, something that I've enjoyed in Breath of the Wild, and I've enjoyed in this game. I've also enjoyed the same feeling in what's that game? Somewhat in Ocarina of Time. I mean, but it was in Wind Waker. Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. One of my favorite things to do is just go into Hyrule Castle and just explore and look at the way it just, I don't know, I just get I'm like crazy about it. When I was there,
Mm.
I went up. I had enough stamina, and I glided up to it, and I went there and I got the champion's tunic. And but just being there, and I was climbing the depths or everything. I was to the very top of the tip. I even posted something on Twitter. But I just love going to the castles and exploring those. It feels mysterious to me all the time. It's just that all around feeling. I just love to go into Hyrule Castle. I wish there was a game where you can go into every single room and how well technically you can't do this. You can go to undergrounds and things like that, but something more. I love going to those rooms, reading the books that are laying around. The little things you can read. But yeah, that's kind of one of my favorite things right now that I love. I love that I did was it the other day, just going to Hyrule Castle and
Yeah.
just exploring, finding extra things. But just I need to find what's that shield? The Hylian shield is what I want to get next. I think it's around the same spot it was in Breath of the Wild, from what I hear. So I'm
Okay.
gonna go looking over there. But yeah, that's definitely. How about for yourself, Miss New or New? Sorry. What are your favorite? You're at the moment because you've conquered the game a little more than us. You've been further in. Any favorite moments that you've had yourself? But let's see. Overall, I mean, it's just a fantastic game right now. And like I said, I was looking for what's her name, Impa. I was looking for Impa for another. Where was she? I went to go see where she was at, and then I found her. So I was like, okay, cool. So it's like, but you'll see Ryan. Whenever you get to that part.
I
But
get
it's
to
just,
that. Yeah.
yeah, it's just. I'm trying. I have a few more towers to get, so I can I need to get. I need to. That's probably That's probably what I'm gonna do now. Is just get the towers and do that. So and I think I have 3 more, and that way I can keep looking for more of those. Any moment, Prince Sidon.
Sidon. Everyone loves Sidon. There was like a take on the song about Gaston from Beauty and the Beast that was.
Hey, did
all
we
about
have?
Sidon when Breath of the Wild came out? Did we have him on? I don't remember if we had. I'm not sure.
Hold on, I'm trying to
voices,
remember. Let me give me a second. I want to look it up.
but it should be the same guy that did him again in this one. And I saw they had all the champions from the first game. All their voice actors came back, which is awesome. Yes, the Dragon Race theme is awesome in Rito Village. It's like Wind Waker, I agree, but it's also like there's a slight. I think it's played slower. There's something about the tone that's different. It's more kind of wistful and like things have happened there. There's a history.
So,
yeah, it's good.
Just to I don't know if Miss New was it last year? I've had the voice of Prince Sidon on or is it?
Oh, he was.
I had him. His name is James Martellaro. I've had him on the podcast, and we were talking about his voice acting. So we were able to, I'm trying to bring some of these guys back, but I've had the voice of Sidon, the main dude, Daruka of the Gorons. I even had how do you pronounce her name?
Nervali, did we not?
Mifa, we had her, the voice of her.
Yeah.
The only one I was missing was I didn't get I'm still trying to work on getting a Bosa, the voice of her, but Zelda's impossible. But as I keep bugging them or trying to nicely be like, hey, can I get you on the podcast? So it's but still having even I remember the interview as I'm thinking about it. It's in the past. It was always great to interview these guys and the time they give, even for such a small channel that I am. We've had the luck of having them. I'm not sure if you were there, Ryan, but I would love to get the Prince Sidon back on. And if we do, like I said, it's right now the main. I had a bigger group before, and then the group kind of got small. I like it the way it is. It's usually me and Ryan and LAETITIA will pop in when she can. That's pretty much it, and I like keeping it that way. Unless if we have true fanatics, true people to like to be on a podcast, I usually invite others, new people to jump in. Some of the people who've been in the past, I don't bring them along anymore because it's just I don't. you want to make changes. People, everyone's doing their
Mm.
own thing, and
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. That the podcast did slow down for a while. Again, my personal life, making changes, losing weight, and all that stuff. But yeah, if I can get that, I'll talk to Miss New and say, hey, you want to join? You want to talk to Prince Sidon? Get him back on. So that is a good idea. I might even hit him up today. It's just
Yeah.
I've been trying to get people back. Like I got the voice of Lionel. I got him back on. I got the creator Roger Rabbit. I got him back on. I got for 2 years straight. I had the voice. Oh, not the actor from A Christmas Story, the movie.
Yeah.
Ian Petrella, who played was a little Randy. And he even played in the new movie A Christmas Story Christmas. But like it's always good. I'm probably gonna have him again. Coming up in the holidays later this year because
Awesome.
he seems to always be really loyal and he likes popping up on these things. So,
Yeah, he's a good guy.
but like I said, it just takes you to just a talk, and I can't believe I had these people on the podcast, especially from the champions. I had the 3 champions on. It's still like me, like they chose to be on here with enjoying our conversation with us. Just no one's ever charged me for anything. They just freely give you their time, and like I have been replying to certain people or trying to talk to others, and just the last person I spoke to who responded back saying that this time they weren't available was I told you before, the voice of Samus from Other M, but that's pretty much it. I haven't tried anything after that, but I hope to proceed more. And I did the voice of Ganon. What's his name? I did send him.
Oh,
to
Matt
reply.
Mercer from
Yeah,
Tears the Game.
I sent him. I found him recently. I found 2 places I can contact him.
Yeah.
So sometimes they take a few weeks to reply back. So if I can get the voice of Ganon, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
So the thing is, and get some of these guys back on. So it's again, sometimes I've been replied back a month, 2 months later before. These guys are probably receiving so much stuff and they're oh yeah, maybe I'll do this and that. I remember when I spoke to it freaked me out when I had the voice. I mean the actor from who plays Shredder from the original Ninja Turtles movies. I was just like, holy shit, this dude freaking. He even left the paragraph just talking to me like what he's doing and like right, check me back later. So it's like sometimes you want to like hitting the nostalgia stuff. You can't really get current people now like too much. You can't. I mean, I can't get as much as I wish I had Arnold Schwarzenegger or things like that. I'm not big like that. I can't. But I can get lucky, or the podcast does. That's like to keep it the way it is and not much of a gamer as I used to in terms of live streaming. But anyways, let me finish off my part real quick and
Okay.
with let's see anything else I missed with I'm glad that Ms. New brought up the music thing all around favorite parts let's see the creatures that you were talking about that it looks like it's getting red and they're floating around. I'm sure Ms. New knows about it and yeah those I can't wait. I think I got enough. I got some really really hard I got some good swords. I got some armor. You know what? Yeah, I found this armor and right below. Is it level 5 armor or level 4? Right there where you get the first tower, Ryan, the first tower, and there's like a place where it's like an underground shelter.
Yeah.
And then did you explore some more of that? Because if you go back to that underground shelter, they have a spot that breaks down that they're talking around that you can go in there. It opens up all this other stuff and you'll see and you'll find if you dig in deep into that area under there you'll find like our whole full armor set for helmet everything and it's good and it's strong for you. I haven't found any of the major what do you call those big fairy ladies.
Oh, the Great Fairies. There's one near.
Oh, I did find one, but I didn't.
No,
they wanted something on it. I gotta go find them too.
Plateau.
There's so much to do. This is crazy. I don't know.
It is.
Like You know, because like I said, I spent it's like I'm probably gonna eat something shortly, and then I'm gonna end up like I said, eating something, and then get into some game time. If anything, I might end up watching a movie and then playing in the morning. But I do got to do my Mabel stuff before I go to bed tonight. But anyways, yeah, all around feeling I'm enjoying it 100%. I hope to enjoy it for the next several weeks. I want to keep checking out those memories and those tears and get more about it. So that what you're gonna do tonight, Ryan?
I'm definitely gonna play the game. I'm probably just gonna explore more. Fairies are mostly in the sky. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to keep a lookout for more of them. At some point, the guidebook is coming out. I have that pre-ordered, so because I definitely don't want to miss anything.
Yes, the caves are awesome.
There's lots of cave. Yeah, the caves are fun, and the wells.
I like that.
Too. The wells under the ground there's lots of cool stuff in the wells.
The caves are something added new, and
yeah,
the dungeon type areas are like they're so amazing. They're so like it's a combination of how you feel, something traditional, something also very new ideas. That's what Nintendo does to you, or the creators of Zelda. Oh, real quick, if you guys didn't know, the creators of Zelda Breath of Tears of the Kingdom, well, the same ones who did Breath of the Wild, they're actually talking interest. If you might have seen this, and I hope it's true, is interest of a movie because of the success of the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah,
and now they're thinking, if you put the right guys behind it, whether Illuminations does something or if it's a live action, I don't know. How would we feel about that? It's a question for the three of us that are here now. What do you think of a live action movie for Zelda? Do you want Illuminations type thing, animation? Do you want a live action or animation? What would you want, or are you okay with both?
You want me to start?
Sure. Yes, Ryan.
Okay, so Illumination to do it? No. I don't, no disrespect to them, but I feel like their tone and what they make is not in line with Zelda. You need something, it doesn't have to be mature, but it needs to be a different tone than like the Mario movie is. It needs to skew for an older audience, whereas Mario is for all ages. I don't know how I feel about Link, speaking honestly. It depends on how they do it, so I don't necessarily have a good feeling about it but like if they want to go that way, they can sell me on it. It just has to be really, really good. I don't know how they would necessarily do a movie without him speaking. It's interesting to think about. Live action, I'm good with live action. Animation, like Wind Waker or Winx, that would not be bad. I'm leaning more towards what you're saying at the bottom, anime movie. If you think of Studio Ghibli, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, Castle in the Sky, which Castle in the Sky probably somewhat inspired Tears of the Kingdom, the Sky areas, I'm guessing. Or Princess Mononoke generally inspires Zelda a lot. Anything up to Howl's Moving Castle that's more fantasy oriented that Studio Ghibli did, that's the tone that you need for Zelda. It doesn't have to be mature or dark or for an older audience, but it hits that kind of right audience. Ideally I'd like Ghibli to just do it, but I don't know how likely that is to happen. But that's the kind of feel that I would ultimately want. I'd also be fine with live action Zelda, but I feel like Hollywood might kind of Hollywood live action Zelda a little bit too much, where if you did go anime, you get more of a tone that I think fits better with. Or Demon Slayer style with the Demon Slayer style could be okay for Zelda. Violence, I don't care either. Whatever fits the tone of the movie they're going for. That anime style could work too for that. I just feel like Ghibli has made essentially movies that are like a Zelda adventure, just not with anything Zelda in it. Like they fit the tone and what Zelda is really well. So that's why I go back to them a lot. Anyway, that was a whole lot of extra points from me.
I think
what
for
about you?
for myself, animation. I mean, I can pretty much take anything, but they gotta do it right. I don't want Zelda to turn into a cartoon comical thing. You know, you want it to be serious. I mean, anime might be better, but I mean, I would love to see. I've always wanted as a young kid to wish for a live action, but of course you got to do it right. I mean, Link's gonna have to talk, but how to do it right, how to do it proper, and how to use the right actor for it. Watch it be Chris Pratt. So I'm just saying you want to just have someone meant for that role, and yeah, it has to be dark and serious, and and someone and who to play Zelda is going to be the big thing, and that's going to be awesome. I mean, I'm sure there will be. It's opening up a lot of doors since the Mario movie came out, and I would love, I would say, I'm gonna add something to it. I would love to see a Metroid movie, Metroid Prime, or
Yes.
Metroid.
Yes.
Metroid with Samus. Ooh, my Lord, I love her. But it's
Yeah.
just like, but back to Zelda, it's like, we'll do a Metroid themed podcast later on once Prime comes out, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go there. We're gonna talk something different. We'll do something separate. But to
Yeah.
Zelda, yeah, I mean, they just gotta do it right. However they do it, they gotta make sure they have like Mr. Miyamoto, creator of Mario, was there with Illuminations. He was there to make sure they did this shit right. And Hollywood was trying to make it someone different, but he stood there like, nah, you ain't doing this. This is how we're gonna do it. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of, you gotta do it right. And I noticed that they did a lot of similar things to the live action Mario Bros. Movie. Like, how I think I mentioned with Mario and Luigi, they do that little thing with their hands, and the cart thing and the animation, they did the same thing. It's so cool. Just we talked about it already, but the first Zelda thing would be amazing. I just hope they don't kill it. Let me see. Here. You hope he's still silent. He's always been silent, except
Yeah.
maybe just make him shy.
Fair enough. What about like if he talks and then something happens where he's like something happens to him where he's injured and he can't talk after that? Then that's one way I'd be fine with him being able to talk.
I like what she said here.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. So he has to be involved in anything that Hollywood is doing.
Yeah, Mario Moto's the creator of Mario and Link, right?
Yeah, Zelda too. Zelda, Star Fox, Mario, basically everything that Nintendo has, except obviously Pokemon is a whole separate thing. Like, it's not fully owned by Nintendo, but everything Nintendo creates is Miyamoto, except for like Fire Emblem, Kirby, Metroid.
Yeah, that was a tech back. Yeah.
That might be it, honestly. Like, if you look at Smash, anything that's not from those franchises, Earthbound, I'm having a hard time thinking of anything more that is in that game that is actually Nintendo. But yeah, I think that's it. Yes, Eiji Aonuma is currently producing the Zelda games, but he came on initially as director for Majora's Mask, I believe, after he worked on Ocarina of Time under Miyamoto. Miyamoto was either the director or the producer, and was the director and the creator of the Zelda series prior to that. That is spelled correctly, yes. I think, anyway. But so Aonuma's in charge, and he knows from working directly under Miyamoto. Miyamoto's the producer on Majora's Mask. He knows what Miyamoto, like how Miyamoto does things. All of the franchises Miyamoto has created have now fallen under different creators, and now Miyamoto's basically kind of like semi-retired, but he can go do the movie things. He can go do the like the theme park. He can just do kind of what he wants, and has like a position at Nintendo, but that's more kind of like a general, he's their idea guy, and they everyone loves him, and he's important to the company because he made all these things originally. But yeah, you're right. Aonuma has been producing Zelda from Wind Waker or Twilight on. I forget when Miyamoto kind of became less directly involved, but it was his original creation. And actually, Zelda is inspired specifically by like Miyamoto would go into caves and stuff around where he lived, and he thought like, oh, this might be a good. That's just kind of typical Miyamoto. He, whatever he does in real life is like, oh, this could make a good game, and then like the most recently is, oh, I garden, and then he makes Pikmin. This could be a good game, and there's Pikmin.
I think it'll be done right. I'm just thinking, just as you're saying, I think as long as you have Miyamoto involved, period.
Yes,
That's
it'll
all you
be
need.
good.
You just have to have that, or somebody else is just gonna screw the hell out of it.
I personally like it because I like those games. Those are my favorite Zeldas. Not that I don't like I like A Link to the Past and Ocarina. However, yeah, I feel like you have developers like Grezzo, I think Nintendo bought, and you have Grezzo, I think, did the Link's Awakening Switch port. You also have like Flagship from Capcom did the Minish Cap and the Seasons games.
You gotta play Zelda.
That is an awesome game.
You gotta play it through the cartridge. The only way I know I have it on the Switch, but I gotta play it on my original Super Nintendo because controllers.
So my point in referencing these other developers that Nintendo had, I forget who else did the ports of Ocarina and Majora on 3DS, but they're like, it doesn't have to be an either or. Even if Nintendo is not directly doing the old style games, you have developers that are capable, that Nintendo has a relationship with, that are capable of putting that out. I think maybe even the people that did the Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3 are now Nintendo owned, and I think they worked on a Zelda at some point or assisted on one, if I remember correctly. I mean, plus like Nintendo often gets other developers that it owns or has a relationship with involved in helping, like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Monolith Soft that does Xenoblade assisted on the world, like helping make the world in that. Yeah, same. That was my favorite for the longest time, and that was my first full Zelda game. Chronoz showed Link to the Past, which before Breath of the Wild, for me, it was either Ocarina or Link to the Past were the, by far for me, the clear choices on what would be the best Zelda game. Link to the Past is the Super Nintendo one. That was the cartridge that Chronoz held up. And Ocarina, the top is more curved on the N64 carts.
I'm trying to find my other one. My Zelda. I mean, I have my Zelda on 64. It's another one that I like to play, preferably on my 64 than through the Switch. The Switch doesn't do it good. Like if you're playing Star Fox on the Switch, it is nothing.
The Switch controls don't work for N64.
Star Fox, especially Star Fox, and
there's no real approximating an N64 controller. It was just too unique and weird. You can get N64 controllers for the Switch, but
then you can slap in your Rumble Pack. It's real when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Real.
I mean, other than I don't really want to play long term with the N64 emulation because of the controls. I'm not fussy, mainly because I sold off all my collection when I was married, so I just play them how I can get them. But like ideally, I'd rather have remasters that you actually can play the game with proper controls than what they have. I have all the classic games on my Wii U and 3DS. I couldn't have video games growing up, so I would visit my cousin. He has the Nintendo 16. That's cool. Games are expensive. It's a hobby. It's an investment. So you play it how you can. And I mean, yeah, there may be an ideal way to play something. I'm not such a stickler for that, only with the N64 Switch Online, and that's only because I'm not paying the money for an N64 controller for my Switch, and it doesn't play right otherwise. Nothing really kind of matches having the C buttons, since you actually do need the D-pad for things on the Switch Online. I guess you could map it to something else, but like it's just not quite right. Actually, I shouldn't say I guess you could map it to something else. I don't actually know if they have that function on Switch Online, but that's the only one where I'm like, yeah, this doesn't play right. I can live with, I know it's not the same as holding a Super Nintendo controller, but I personally can live with I'm holding a Switch controller. I'm playing a game that's not for, that wasn't originally made for the Switch. But yeah, the N64 controller, you just cannot replicate that right. It always feels weird. Anyway.
Okay. Let's see. Anything else that you want to finish off? We're going to head towards the closing of the podcast.
Okay. Yeah. No.
I think I did my part.
Yeah, I covered everything I wanted to say, and then we got onto some side topics. I think I went a little long on those, so I apologize.
That's cool. It's all good. Let's say give our final thoughts on Ryan overall with the with Zelda, your all around thing. Anything you missed that you just want to finish by saying?
For Tears of the Kingdom, I'm having a fantastic time with it. I honestly think it will be Game of the Year, and I don't often pick a Game of the Year, but because whatever I have fun with is cool. I don't really care. But yeah, I think this will be. I think it's an amazing game. I think everyone should give it a shot. If you didn't like Breath of the Wild, I think there's enough that they took the feedback and seemed to listen to it that you might actually enjoy this one more. And if you love Breath of the Wild, everything that you loved about Breath of the Wild is in this one and is, in my opinion, better than it was the last time around. So 100% I recommend it, and 100% I'm gonna later tonight before bed play more of it and try to do that every day and just enjoy the crap out of this game.
Yes, definitely. I would say, yeah, just my finishing thoughts. If you have any finishing thoughts, Ms. New, on your Zelda experience, for myself, yeah, just all around, just can't wait to get back at it for a little bit. Sometimes I feel like if I play too much, I gotta relax for a bit and maybe watch a movie, and I'm gonna eat, watch a movie, and see if I can feel it. I mean, I'll probably end up doing this. I watch my movie, I end up playing again, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna be done by midnight. Then I'm gonna realize it's 4 a.m. That usually happens to me every damn time, and it's been happening to me lately. Like I got a little late to martial arts class this morning because I was playing Zelda in the morning. So oh shit, I gotta get to class. I made it, and luckily I didn't get in trouble for it because which is cool. The master's cool. But yeah, I just gotta make sure I don't let Zelda get in the way of my personal life. But that's why I gotta do that on the side and see. She's not happy to hear about more Zelda fans because it's definitely amazing. It's one of the best experiences. So far I've been waiting for something to do this summer, and pretty much that's what I'm doing. I have my little side games on the side. I do want to replay some Link to the Past again. Later on, I just finished not too long ago Twilight Princess and on the GameCube, but I really wish they would please give us Twilight Princess on the Switch. What are you guys waiting for? But I mean, I got something for now, and this will help me out here. So to play this, so all around, I gave it a 10/10 so far. and I do hope it's a game of the year thing. It's a contender. There are contenders out there. There's Final Fantasy 16 out there and competing and everything. So it's just a lot of great games out there for gamers. And so well, I think later on we'll do in about a month or two, well, however long it takes. I need to get Tri-First Johnson on, but to see how the afterthoughts after beating or conquering Zelda a little bit. I have to give it about a month or two before we do that particular Zelda one, but we'll even go into the timeline. See if we've made a little bit more sense of it a little bit after we've pretty much completed Tears of the Kingdom and so forth, and get LAETITIA on. She's probably having fun in that Greek fest right now. So it's, hopefully she's having a good time. Other than that, I want to thank the Geek Show. He popped up. He popped up in the beginning. Thank him for popping up on the show. I want to thank Miss New for popping in. Where you been, Miss New? Like all of a sudden, I was like, I don't know, how did we who friended who? And I just know I'm glad to have you here, and a great Zelda fan that you are, and I'm very into all Zelda games. But just my message to everybody is gaming is fun. It's good. Don't forget about your health. And whether it's like for me, losing weight, dropping 30 pounds in the last 2 months, I'm going to drop another 20 to 30. I think I'm going to be too skinny by then. But don't forget about your mental health. It's also very important too, and just take care of yourselves, So it's just, all those things that are important in life. And gaming is great. If you want to, for me, I see it, live longer, play more, And like I said, I still feel young, either way. So other than that, I want to say thank you for everyone. And I'm going to end out with the outro. This kind of shows a little bit of, what we've done throughout the Chronoz Show has been out for almost 3 years now, right? So we're at episode 100. This is episode 113. And so that's a lot of episodes. And I'll see you guys all next time. Ryan, I'll see you right after. We'll just chit chat before we go.
All right.
Again, thank you for jumping in. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Thunder, Thundercats! Ho!